Good morning, brothers and sisters. It's Friday, man. We made it. We made it to the end of the week. We did this. None of us got arrested. We're here, man. The reload helps. Telling you, you guys don't know how much you help me every morning to get my butt out of bed, get ready for this show, man. Just get out there, get my Java this morning. Notice I have a manly cup again. There's no more mom knitting cup. I thank you guys for not busting me over the head about it yesterday. You guys are all right. So how's everybody doing this morning, man? Y'all excited about the weekend? I'm looking forward to it. You know, some of you guys probably want to sleep in. Some of you guys probably got, a weekend vacation going on. Maybe you're going to work on some kind of project. You're going to fix something that broke this week with all the storms and everything. Some of you probably just gonna cuddle up by the fire cause it's freaking 9 degrees outside. All you brothers and sisters that live up north. Hope y'all doing good, man. See who we got in here today. Jerry Robbins. Good morning. Good morning. Days in the house, man. Days doing the eyes. That's what Days does. Man, I'll see Prepper Days all over the YouTube community, and that's what he'll do. Watching you. Backwoods. What's up, brother? What's going on this morning, man? It's good to see you. I just got one question for you.
You're a guy, right?
You know I love you, brother. Just messing with you. Bug Out Ventures. Hey, sis. How you doing? Hoodow in the house. My single source for information, man. Appreciate you, brother. Let's see. Rockadoodle Farm. Well, cock-a-doodle doos. Good to see you. Good morning. Amen. Another day worth crowing about. We thank you, Lord. Debbie, what's up, sis? Good to see you this morning. Julie, what's going on? Julie hooked me up with some good info yesterday. Appreciate you, sis. I appreciate that. Shift Kicker in the house. What's going on with you, sis? Let's see. Who else we got in the house today? Highlands Husky, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Milkmaid in the house. Everything's good. We're all right now. Milkmaid's here. She's going to take care of all of us. Milkmaid, you were right, man. I was gritting my teeth the whole time I was watching Kamala and Joe Biden speak yesterday. I was yelling at the screen at Joe with all his lies. Everything that was coming out of the man's mouth was a lie. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. I had a good show this morning. We're going to talk about their speech. I want to talk about a few things going on in different parts of the country. And we're going to talk about Chicago and their new plan to help fight crime. You blow a whistle at an armed robber. What a great plan. Ghetto, what's going on, man? Good to see you, brother. Ohio Prepper in the house. Tammy in the house. Good to see y'all this morning. Big Chat. What's going on, brother? Bug Dude in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Bug Dude, the leader of the Reload Replay game. Mama Liam, good morning. Good morning. Mel's dad, what's up? See, we got mom and we got dad this morning, guys. We're doing good. I'm telling you. Jeep, what's up, my brother? Jeep's my South Carolina homeboy. Yard Dog, good to see you this morning. Roots, man, we got Milkmaid and Roots. Can y'all feel the genius going on in this chat this morning? Sage, good morning, brother. Good to see you, man. I caught your video you dropped this morning, man, about the Capitol Police Gestapo. Guys, if you guys aren't subscribed to Sage News Network, for one thing, subscribe to this dude. He's on top of it with great news, good info. But him and Will also have the Defiant Discourse podcast. One of you mods, please drop the link to the Defiant Discourse podcast. Sage was on there this morning. He dropped a video. It was a news clip from The Rising. And, man, the information was great. It was right on, man, because we've been talking about that before months ago when they first started talking about opening those field offices in Tampa and San Francisco. That's the beginning, man. Like, you're on top of it. Like, your instincts on that was right. We the people. What's up, man? Good morning. Good to see you this morning, brother. Serbian, what's going on with you, man? Is it afternoon where you are? Good afternoon, brother. Good to see you. There's so many good folks in here this morning. Good to see everybody. If I missed you, I'm sorry. You know I love you. It's Friday. I'm ready to get into this thing, man. Oh, Big Mama Steph. How are you, sis? Gotta say hey to Big Mama Steph. All right, so I want to start off with something Kamala said yesterday, man. It is so hard for her to be sincere and personable. Her whole speech was robotic to me. Like her inflections were fake. Everything about what she was saying, she didn't care. You know, someone wrote a speech for her. It was supposed to be heartfelt. She don't have it, man. Kamala's not good at hiding her disdain. She's not good at hiding her emotions. And it's what makes her such a bad politician, you know, because it's hard for her. Like, she'll lie. She'll say anything she needs to get ahead. The thing is she's not good. She's not a good liar. She's not a good politician. So the whole time she was giving her little speech to introduce Brandon, you know, it was just so mechanical. But she said the thing, and she likened January 6th not only to 9/11, but also Pearl Harbor. It's both of those things, man. And people believe it. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't understand how people watch the news about what happened on January 6th and they hear stuff like this and they just believe it. I'm like, you were sitting in your home that day. Just like Kamala said, we're all going to remember where we were on that day, right? Did you feel at all like the United States was about to end? That these 200 unarmed people were about to overthrow our government, our military, all our law enforcement agencies? Did you really feel that? And in the little old District of Columbia, did you feel the shockwaves of the insurrection all across the United States of America? You know, people dumbfound me with their ignorance and acceptance of someone just because they are a Democrat or a Republican. It blows me away. The blind obedience, the blind loyalty to these political parties who only exist to make themselves rich. But anyway, without further ado, Madam Vice President Hills Up Harris.
Fellow Americans, good morning. Certain dates echo throughout history, including dates that instantly remind all who have lived through them where they were and what they were doing when our democracy came under assault. Dates that occupy not only a place on our calendars, but a place in our collective memory. December 7th, 1941, September 11th, 2001, and January 6th, 2020.
Yeah. Now, if I was a family member of one of the almost 3,000 people who died in 9/11, and for her to use that, to use their memory, to use that terrible day in our nation's history, I would be very upset at them trying to use that to compare January 6th to that for their own political gains, you know, and those who were lost in Pearl Harbor. I mean, Pearl Harbor was so bad, it launched us immediately into war with Japan, you know. 9/11, same thing, launched us immediately into war with Afghanistan, you know. But the freaking hyperbole here, man, you know, I mean, who believes this crap? But they got to use it. They have to. They're stuck. They've built this narrative around that white supremacy and right-wing extremism is the number one threat to our democracy. They have to keep pushing it, and they're going to keep pushing it because now they're going to use it to make whatever power grab they want to. You know, that's what Sage was reporting on this morning about the Gestapo. We touched on it a little bit yesterday. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to keep pushing this narrative. They know what's coming in November. You know, most likely a red wave. Most likely the Republicans are going to retake the House and the Senate. And they have to be prepared for that. They've got their allies on the other side. They are still in the uniparty. You know, make no mistake, just because the Republicans take the House and the Senate don't mean everything's going to be fine and dandy now. You know, it's controlled opposition, guys, with this. And it don't matter because the Capitol Police is a part of the legislative branch. They are not like other law enforcement agencies. They operate under different rules. They are only answerable to the Speaker of the House and Chuck Schumer. you know, the Senate Majority Leader. So it doesn't matter if it's a Republican or Democrat in there. It's not good for us, and it's not good for liberty at all for them to be doing what they're doing, expanding the Capitol Police into the rest of the United States with no oversight, you know, with no accountability to investigate private citizens and bring them in. And make no mistake, it is going to happen. They are going to be going into these cities in Tampa Bay, Florida, San Francisco, and they're going to be hunting people down, you know, left and right. Whoever they say is the threat, that's who they're going to bring in. Just like those folks from January 6th who are in prison right now in the Capitol. They've been in solitary confinement. They spent their whole holiday season. Think about all the things we did over Thanksgiving, over Christmas, over New Year's. You know what they did? They were in solitary confinement. You know, and they are American citizens. They are not having. They don't have due process. They don't have habeas corpus. You know, so we need to. It's something we need to keep an eye on. Milkmaid and Backwoods, thank you for dropping those links. I appreciate you guys. Definitely check out Sage, man. He's on top of it. Got some good news. OFC Nation, what's up, brother? Roots, Rocks, and Feathers. Good to see you. Good to see you. But yeah, anyway, man, it just pissed me off, the whole thing. Listening to Brandon, he was all hopped up on whatever they inject him with before he has to give a long speech. And I have to say, he did pretty good for him. There weren't that many gaffes. I like to watch his speeches just to get the gaffes, man, because the dude is hilarious. He's one of my favorite comedians. So, you know. Full Monty, Craig the Hunter, good morning. Stars, good morning. Brian Griffin, good morning, good morning. Brian Griffin, man, from Family Guy. Oh, snap, what's up? Hey, Deborah, good morning, sis. Good to see you. All right, so anyway, they're going to push this narrative, right? And anything that happens, if the Republicans do, and it's most likely they will, all the pollsters, all the pundits and on the news stations I watch say it's most likely going to happen. You know, the economy is bad, the debacle at the border, the debacle in Afghanistan, you know, the supply chain issues, everything is bad. Nothing is going good for Brandon and his administration. So when it does happen, when the red wave comes, all they're going to do is say, look, we told you, right-wing extremism, white supremacists, look what they're doing. Look what's going on. They're taking over our democracy. And all of their propaganda outlets are going to push the same thing. They're already pushing it. Look at this dude on The View, Joy Behar.
You know, I remember in Watergate, it took a long time before they actually nailed all these people. It doesn't happen that fast. The wheels of justice grind slowly. I'm not losing hope yet, but I will worry in November if the Republicans take over the House and the Senate. That will be the beginning of the end for this country.
Will it? The beginning of the end for this country if the Republicans are in charge of anything, she says. It's the beginning of the end for this country. Are you freaking kidding me? The beginning of the end was a long time ago, man. When the Uniparty took complete control of our media outlets, of the majority of our cultural institutions, that was the beginning of the end of our country. Thank God the Brahma Bull freaking Donald Trump got elected and went and busted up the China shop and showed us all what the heck was going on. Because here we are now trying to fight back. While you guys are here, that's why I'm here. That's why people like Sages are out there reporting on the news, man, and others. So many others. So many of you got OFC Nation. He's out there fighting the same fight with us, trying to inform folks, man. And we're going to keep pushing back on this stuff. And Prep and Plumber, what's up, dude? Good morning, man. Good to see you, brother. Been missing you in chat. Cap police equals contract security in Article 10 Judicial Code. I think they have no jurisdiction outside the territory that enacted their contract. They don't have jurisdiction outside of DC. Exactly, man. And that's what they're expanding these field offices though, and they're expanding their reach. That's what all this funding is for. And we know how it works. Sage talked about it this morning. If you receive funding from Congress, you have to justify that funding eventually, right? So they're going to be arresting people in these field offices and bringing them in and saying, see, aren't you guys glad that we have these field offices? Look at all these right-wing domestic terrorists we caught. We need more field offices. And all they got to do, and all of the other of our federal agencies, like the CIA, the FBI, Homeland Security, ATF, they're all going to be sharing information and intelligence with the Capitol Police and saying, you need to go here to this city. Look at this citizen. Look at their social media account, what they're talking about. You need to bring them in. No accountability. They can bring them to Washington, D.C., which technically is foreign soil, right? Not a part of the United States of America, not under the same jurisdiction as other law enforcement agencies. Man, people gotta wake up, man, and stop supporting this bullcrap. Miller, what's up, man? So anyway, yeah, Joy Behar. Gosh, she kills me. That will be the end of America. Come on, girl. You know what the end of America is? It is the establishment protest that is burning down our cities. This narrative, this dangerous narrative that's running through, that there is just an epidemic of white supremacy across our entire nation. You know, even though none of us ever see it anywhere in any pocket. You know, are there white supremacists? Of course there are. Somewhere in a basement, hiding, scared to death. You know, this isn't a society for white supremacists, man. But anyway, I got a clip from Minneapolis. It's a news clip. I think it was yesterday. But this lady is still living in the aftermath of George Floyd, man. And she mentions that she just wants to be able to live her life, but she can't because of the new, I want to call it the lack of police state.
How was last night?
Scary. I live in the high-rise right back here, and I seen them as they came down Lake Street. But then they turned and started coming over here, and I'm sitting out looking out my window. And they went straight to Office Max, the dollar store, and every store over here that I go to. I have nowhere to go now. I have no way to get there because the buses aren't running. These people did this for no reason. It's not going to bring George back here. George is in a better place than we are. And last night, I'm going to be honest, I wish I was where George was because this is ridiculous. These people are tearing up our livelihood. This is the only place I could go to shop. And now I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have anywhere to get.
Wow. Sure, she said Minneapolis right now is worse than hell because she said George Floyd's in a better place than they are. But wow, man, it must be pretty bad there. And it is bad. It's bad in every major city. It has to be bad in Minneapolis. The defund the police movement started there. You know, I can only imagine what it's like there, but all our cities are like that. I watched the news clip. I almost clipped it this morning out of Atlanta, Georgia. A guy shot someone in a movie theater. They went to see Spider-Man, and he wanted a seat that someone was already sitting in. They got an argument. He pulled out a gun and shot him and killed him. America, man. This is where we are, man. This is where we are. That's where we're going. People just pulling out guns and shooting you because they want your seat. You know, so I tell you what, all he's got to do is say the dude was a white supremacist. He used the N-word. What was I supposed to do? You guys taught me we're supposed to punch Nazis in the face. We're supposed to shoot them and kill them, right? This is where we're going. This is where we're going, man. Hey, Loretta. Good morning, sis. Good to see ya. Do stuff with Nikki. Hey, sis. But anyway, this is where we at. This is where we're going. I bet it does. You know, all these urban centers all in every state, all across our country, man, have just been infiltrated by the establishment, you know, by the ruling elites. And they are, from what I can tell, man, I try to stay away from big cities as much as possible. They just seem like hellholes to me. Yep, it has flipped to that, hasn't it? I agree with you, brother. Especially now they're setting up their Gestapo places. Imagine this. They set up field offices in every state. The local law enforcement is petitioned to look out for certain types of people. I just saw where All Slander Info. What's going on, brother? Good evening to you. He was talking about how your neighbors will report on you to the state, and they will. They'll tell the Gestapo, hey, this is my neighbor. I was on his Facebook. He said this, or I overheard, we were at a barbecue and I overheard him say this to someone. He told this joke. And the next day, the Capitol Police is knocking on your door, or your local law enforcement or the sheriff is knocking on your door. And then they take you to the Capitol Police, and then they start investigating you without due process, without habeas corpus, in solitary confinement. Telling you guys, revolution is coming. But anyway, so I want to talk about the Chicago thing. Let's move on to that. I saw it first on there's a Chicago news channel that I'm sub to on YouTube. Just so I don't know why Chicago fascinates me. I think because it's the number one city in our country that proves that gun control does not work, and all it does is cause human suffering and death. There's a reason why it's the murder capital of the world, because they have some of the strictest gun laws on record. But so anyway, I actually found the same news clip. Coley Noir did a thing on it, so I just clipped his take on it because he has good insights to it. Plus, he's funny. But yeah, man, that one of the Obermen is telling their constituents, buy a whistle. If you see armed robbery, run at them with your whistle. Great idea, man. This isn't going to end in people getting shot in the face. They're already robbing people in broad daylight in Chicago. You think they care if people run at them with whistles? Anyone does this, man, please don't do this. If you're in Chicago or someone in Chicago, please tell them not to do this. Good gracious, man. Tell them to leave Chicago and go to a place where they can own a firearm. But anyway, let's check it out.
Amid a big uptick in crime in that area, 21 and counting armed robberies or carjackings just since mid-November, a Northside alderman is reinstituting a decades-old program that for some is raising eyebrows. Lincoln Park alderman Michelle Smith is asking her constituents to buy whistles and blow those whistles if they see certain crimes unfold.
That's right, whistles. She wants you to whistle your way to safety. It's 2022 where criminals are running around with switches on their Glocks, and they want you to combat this with whistles.
And the idea is to let people know that they're being watched in the community and being supported by the community and help take back our streets.
These criminals are robbing and shooting people in broad daylight with not a care in the world about the police. What is a group of people with whistles going to do against a criminal with a Draco?
In a bulletin sent out to her constituents this past week, 43 Ward Alderman Michelle Smith asks her constituents to arm themselves with whistles.
So something that can be loud, whistles that are used in sports and, for example, camping safety are the kind of whistles that we recommend that people get.
This is what you get when you rely on the government to keep you safe. They turn you into referees. These people don't have real solutions. This is the equivalent of a doctor telling you to burn sage in your apartment in order to fix your broken leg. They so desperately don't want to actually empower the citizens to protect themselves. They're telling you to buy whistles. And here's the irony. In the streets, they sometimes refer to their guns as whistles.
Whistles, man. Can you imagine on the streets of Chicago, someone, an armed robber, who's not afraid to rob you in broad daylight? They have all these lax policies now in Chicago. They have the no chase law. If someone running, law enforcement came and chased you, they have created the perfect environment to be an armed robbery. If that has been your lifelong ambition, move to Chicago. You'll do great there. You'll be a kingpin. And they're telling the citizens, hey, police can't chase. Get a whistle. Let them know they're being watched. Run at them. I mean, she goes on to talk about it more in depth. You guys go check out Coley. He shows more clips of the lady. And it shows her agenda, too. He found a clip from her where she was, there were only 22 views on the video. He made a point to say that it wasn't 22,000, wasn't 2,200, or 22 views on her video. She was talking to two other gun control activists. And she said her whole thing is based on because no one should have guns. She's like, there's no reason for anyone to have a gun ever at all. You know, so I mean, this is all part of their agenda. They're trying to pull things out of their butthole, man, to show the citizens they don't need guns. You know, in the flying in the face. They always try to blame Indiana too. They bring that up a lot. Beetlejuice has said it in a lot of speeches over there. A lot of folks coming out of Chicago have said this. Even the chief of police, and he knows better, man. He knows what would help. If you arm the citizens and tell them you have the right to defend yourself. Armed criminal points a gun at you, you have the right to use lethal force. If they would tell the people of Chicago that and allow them to own firearms, crime would drop overnight. We all know it, but they won't do it. They want you to blow a whistle in Chicago. You know, my God, the bloodbath that's going to ensue if the citizens of Chicago do this, man. If you guys have a clip of someone actually doing this, please let me know. Please email me the clip. I'm going to try to find them. I hope no one does this. I don't want anyone to die. But good God, man, if someone starts doing this, then this lady, these officials in Chicago who are supporting this, they need to be locked up. They need criminal charges for inciting people to put their life in danger by running at criminals with a whistle. Now, they try to cover their backsides and say, well, if you feel like you might be in danger by doing this, then don't do it. Call the police. Why? What the police going to do? Show up and blow whistles too? You've taken the teeth out of your law enforcement. You've put your you've put your citizens into a bowl, you know, with the most dangerous types, with the criminal types, and you've made an environment so those criminal types have every advantage. So I feel sorry for folks who can't leave. You know, it's easy to say, well, people should just move away. They should. But what if you can't? You know, what if you're not just economically viable? What if you don't have anywhere to go? What if you're elderly? What if you're retired there? You know, gosh, man, this country, man, God help us all. Deez, what's up, man? Good morning. Lisa, what's going on, sis? Good to see you this morning. We're just talking about Chirac, man. We're talking about what's going on and everything that they're doing. Don't you feel like the reason they're doing this in our inner cities, which are, if I'm not mistaken, like 95% controlled by the Democratic Party, they're just there, like most of our major cities are that way. They're just strongholds. I feel like they're doing this there, though, making the crime rate rise on purpose so that they can then say, oh, we need a field office there. We need a Capitol Police field office in these cities, in every major city. I think that's where we're going. You know, I think we're seeing the beginning of the implementation of their plan, because we've always said this. We've always said, especially when it comes to gun control, how vast and almost impossible it would be for our government to take our guns. You know, they know that. They've probably war gamed all kinds of scenarios, but now they have this branch, this law enforcement branch, that is only answerable to the legislative body. Like the Freedom of Information Act, they're exempt from it. You know, so we can't even request information on their policies and what they're doing. We can do that for the CIA, the FBI, ATF, DEA, anyone, any federal law enforcement agency, any government agency. We can request information to see what in the hell they're doing, but we can't with the Capitol Police now. This is our Gestapo, and we need to keep an eye on it. We need to stay up to date on it. But anyway, that's my spiel on it this morning. I just found that interesting. It was kind of kismet that Sage dropped that video this morning. First thing when I got up, I always check my notifications, and there it was. And he was right on the money. It seems like a lot of us are thinking in the same, you know, the same wavelength. Nice, man. That's what I'm talking about. Isn't it beautiful? So many states are going to that right now, and they're here in South Carolina. There's all kinds of brand new gun rights legislation. This isn't constitutional carry. It's being discussed right now in our state legislature. The bill's being drafted. In 2020, man, they passed that bill that made every citizen of South Carolina a part of the unarmed militia. So no matter what legislation comes down from the federal level, even if it's an executive order and it's enforced by the military, when you come to South Carolina, every citizen's a part of the militia. The unorganized militia is what they call it. So that means each state has a right to have its own militia and to have that militia armed. It's in the Constitution. So even if the feds come here and say we're confiscating guns, every South Carolina citizen can say, well, we're part of the militia. We have to be armed. I love it. But constitutional carry is next. I can't wait for that. All right. So, yeah, it was a good one. It was really good reporting, Julie. It's on the Defiant Discourse podcast. I think you enjoy that one. Anyway, guys, we're about out of time this morning, man. I did a good show this morning. Good week of the morning reload. I appreciate all you guys. Backwoods, brother, I appreciate you coming on with me the other day. That was a good time. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I want to end with this, though. I haven't heard much out of Jen Pisak lately. So I found this from Freedom Tubes. I thought it was hilarious. Had me giggling all day yesterday. Check it out.
Miss Saki, how does the president account for a broken supply chain?
Or rising prices?
And what about the employment crisis?
This is actually all part of Biden's plan to undo gentrification.
Excuse me?
It's reverse gentrification. Look.
Remember how gentrification was taking low-income neighborhoods and making them bougie? Well, get ready for reverse gentrification. With President Biden's new fail-proof plan, we've been returning all of these low-income neighborhoods to the most low-income status they've ever enjoyed. Oh, nice! And that's not all. Reverse gentrification has been so successful that we're starting to see high-income neighborhoods become low-income as well. Reverse gentrification. Fighting racism, one mismanaged policy at a time. Reverse gentrification will not lower your rent. I don't see how this helps us boost employment.
Boosting employment? He's trying to gentrify the economy. Get him.
Look.
Joe Biden's foolproof plan. Reverse gentrification. Reverse gentrification will not lower your rent. Beautiful. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you with that. You guys have a blessed day, blessed weekend. I'll see you out there somewhere. God bless.